Jamaican people, how much of us can remember the last election with Mr. Patterson and Edward Seaga? Alright. Do you remember the election night when they interviewed Edward Seaga and he cried and they asked him why? He said cried for the Jamaican people. Not because Mr. Patterson won the election, but the people need to go home, sit down and look in themselves. Because they were pushing him out of the party and they formed an alliance against him in the party, hungry for leadership. And then none of them are ready for leadership. And then point out a few and him said none of them are ready for leadership. Edward Seaga, as the captain of the boat, would have seen the ability to lead by some. But him said none. Remember, I have nothing against trial and error. But I don't believe you must use trial and error in a country when you are building. It's a serious factor to take in consideration. And Edward Seaga went on and said Jamaican people need to go home, sit down and look in themselves. And now what was in the dark come to light. Jamaican people, sit down, think about life, think about where you're going, see the reality unfold before your eyes and make the right choice. Not too long from now, we'll go in a general election. And if you make a bad choice, then it's going to affect you all. Don't look because you love a party. Don't look because you can get a handout. Don't look because you can buy you for a moment and feed you for a moment. You're going to accept that. You need more than that. People, look behind the belly full. Look behind the liquor and the enjoyment that you're getting at the moment. Remember, enjoyment only lasts for a few minutes, but your life goes on until you die. That's all I got to say to you guys.
The devil did warn about his son, the young devil. The devil himself did warn about his son, the young devil. Now, Edward Seaga, the devil himself, did warn and make know say, Holiness are going to become a wickeder demons than him himself. And he is not a good leader. And Jamaican people should look past him. Now, Edward Seaga, aka the devil, words come to pass. Because Holiness proved himself to each and every one of the Jamaican people that he is nothing but the devil and not a good leader. People, you like the video? You like the video? Leave a like on this video. Give it a thumbs up. And subscribe. If you haven't subscribed as yet, turn on the post notification bell for new content. Also, share the content. Please, share the content. Like and share the content, people. Now, back to the story. Edward Seaga did warn about this devil. We want to put in a power. I want to see it for yourself. I want to see how this man destroy our country. Destroy our culture. Destroy our children. Destroy our economy. Destroy the whole Jamaica. I want to see it for yourself, people. Now I want to know say this man is nothing but the devil. But bless up to my viewers and my subscribers. I hope everybody having a blessed and a wonderful evening. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, remember, in everything you do, always put God first. In every and any situation, just always remember to call upon God. Always remember to pray, because a prayer day keep the devil away. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, we have a lot coming up inside this update, so you definitely don't want to miss none. So remember, watch the video until the end. Leave a like on this video. Give it a thumbs up, share the content, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet. We soon forward.
white seaga run the Jamaica Labour Party for 35 years. 9 years out of him a Prime Minister of Jamaica. 6 years out of that him have no opposition in government. And uno never see no problem with a white man a run on them time there. A white man who call our PJ a black scandal bag. Uno come on and call the JOTC bus them the time the chichi man bus can say PJ a chichi man. And uno style the black man in most way for a white man. And now uno a can tell me about if me I go really sell out the black man for a slave master son. Foolishness, I can't tell me now, say foolishness. So I'm to morals, I'm to integrity, I'm to transparency. That no count more than race. That no count more than race. If you have a black man, we are slave you out. You know, you better go try for a white man for free way. How do you know, brother? How do you know? Face reality. This is not about race. It's about the betterment of the people and the country.
Welcome back to my viewers and my subscribers. Big up to all of my viewers. Big up to all of my subscribers. Bless upon yourself. I hope you all are having a blessed and a wonderful day. Now my viewers and my subscribers. Edward Seaga did already tell you, say, Andrew Holiness and a lot more over there will never become a good leader. They are not a good leader. They cannot lead Jamaica. But the people of Jamaica, when they do research, they did not go and do their research before they put this evil man in power. But then again, I wonder if enough of them now watch Michael Manley's speeches. So what I am going to do, before I jump down too far inside of this report, I have a video that I want to play so it can refresh you guys' memories of how a good leader should operate and how politicians that serve their country should operate. So people, check out this video and remember, like up this video, share up this video and subscribe as well. Alright, let's move forward.
Our party must be first in study. You must study. If you're a socialist, you must study. You must study. That's why we start all the great programs, literacy, so that we can bring knowledge. True knowledge is power. You must read. Them have a book called Manley and the New Jamaica. Who should find a way to read it. My own little book I write for you is you I write it for. Politics of change is you I write it for. To give you wisdom and understanding. Read it. Make group bite and somebody read it and want to discuss it, because you must be first in study. Knowledge is power. My last word is for the role of leadership. First of all, the leadership of socialism must walk in humility. Humility. Must be humble. Must be humble. Must always be humble. There is no place for arrogance in the party that I lead. And anybody that is arrogant over the people must get out of leadership. The only one that is fit to lead is the one that walks hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, equal with the people, loving with the people. That's why I don't want no big flashy motor car. I don't want nobody in my party go wear flashy clothes. I dress simple. And I drive in a simple little car. And Bev driving a simple little car. Because we must walk with the people. The day we think we're bigger than the people, we have no business to lead. Socialism walks in humility with the people. If you're a socialist, you must have love and concern. And if you're a leader, you must stay close to the people. I said to the leaders of socialism, stay close to the people. When the people are worried and unhappy, don't run away from them. Stay close like a shepherd. Give them love. Give them care. That is socialism. The leader in socialism must know so that he can explain. He must understand so that he can lead. He must inspire by example. And above all, he must have integrity. 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 Only honesty can lead the people in socialism. Therefore, my comrades, Let us build together. And I call upon you now, in the name of the Father, in the name of God, in the name of Allah, in the name of Jehovah, in the name of Jah.
All right, my viewers and my subscribers, I hope you listen to that audio very, very keenly. I know how a good governance should be operate. Now, Andrew Wallace and his administration are nothing but a set of hooligans, arrogant people, and a set of criminals over there in the Jamaican Labour Party. Now, they don't even have ideas on how to run a country. They always stole Mark Golding ideas, and that's why you see them a pressure Mark Golding, and also want him to tell them his plans for Jamaica, because they want to steal more ideas from Mark Golding. Alright, so if you don't know what I talk about, people, if you don't know what I am talking about, I am going to play this video, and I want you guys to see what I am talking about, how them stole Mark Golding ideas for their budget presentation.
The requirement of finding a guarantor works against children from low-income families. The next PNP government will abolish altogether the requirement of finding a guarantor to access student loans. I spoke about tertiary education and the way in which it is financed, and some of the issues that are facing our tertiary students. And we know that many of them, coming out of the pandemic, have been struggling to pay their student loans. And we said, give them a fresh start. We know that the Student Loan Bureau in its financial accounts have been making a provision each year. And over the last few years, it's up over $7 billion. And we're saying, give that back to the students who are in arrears. Write off the penalties. Write off the interest that has accrued. Give them a break. They deserve it and they need it. And we said, going forward, don't have a situation where any child in Jamaica is deprived of a student loan or is discouraged from applying because they can't find a suitable guarantor. We don't need that. The state must take that risk off of them. And we must get rid of this guarantor requirement for our students. We on this side have always seen education as the antidote to poverty. Tertiary education must be accessible to those who need it most. We will cap the student loan borrowers' loan payments at a manageable percentage of his or her income, so that the state and not the student bears the risk of the economy generating adequate employment opportunities for young people. We will eliminate the requirement of a guarantor for a student to access a student loan across the board.
A few moments later.
Committed to an increase in the loan amounts that students will be able to access, and for the disbursement to include not just tuition, but also housing, books and supplies, the cost of a laptop, and a stipend for meals. We are also committed to a meaningful reduction in interest rates on the various loans, and we are committed to longer loan payment periods. As you can see, Madam Speaker, these would be significant changes to how the Student Loan Bureau operates currently. And so we have to work with the Student Loan Bureau to be able to launch these initiatives for the new school year starting September 2026.
So as you can see, people, these people have no ideas for themselves. Them always wait for Mark Golding and the PNP to give out their ideas so they can steal it and make it their own. And that is the reason why you see Mark Golding and that show no idea give them. Because if you can't manage to run a country, step aside, make people who can manage run the country. You don't have no ideas, you don't have no plan for this country. You should step aside. How can you support someone that don't even have a plan for you? Them don't have no idea, nothing at all. Them brain shallow. Shallow. And that is why we, the people of Jamaica, should redirect those people. We should reject them and run them. Tell them so we not believe in them. And then again, people, the question we want to ask is that you're in a power for 9 years, right? And we still have to wait one next extra years. One next extra year for you to do something for we. 2026, after the general election, you think we are idiot? Why do we have to wait until 2026 for you fulfill all your promises? Because you want to win the general election. People want to open up on the eyes, no man. Why we have to wait until 2026? We are now at an early stage in 2025. You are in government. You shouldn't be the one to make promises to the people of Jamaica. You need to step down, step aside. You can't manage.
Of course, I can't say nothing too bad about my government, because the Bible says that he calls us to pray for our government, right? So you can't really talk bad about somebody that you are praying for. But the statement there what she make, I think it can be critiqued. That was not a good statement. And the only thing I heard as an aspiring teacher that is coming up is like, you can't have real goals in life. Like, the goals is just for some set of people, while the other people, them apparently they have the privilege to just live the biggest life ever. But apart from that, what struck me was, you see the conversation that she had and what she said, it was as if, you know, like, you have a little child and they're in the house and you're talking something and the child goes back on the road to repeat what you said. And that it sound like. It sound like this is what they really sit down and say, oh, the $2,000 will make some of them can drive through a box. Because there's no way as a government you can look at your people and say they can save $2,000 and in the next 3 years pay down on a pro box and you think that's okay. Like, what could I give you the courage or the audacity to go upon all angles and to blurt that out, make the entire world hear that? That not look good, that not stay good, that must be retracted. An apology must be given to the Jamaican people, them, especially to the government people, them will get up every single day underpaid, and life is just not the best for them. We need an apology.
If you are a Christian or non-Christian and you're praying for Holiness, it better save a prayer. If you are a Christian or a non-Christian and you're praying for Holiness as much as he is your leader, because you're a Labourite, right? As much as him you support, him or your leader, stop praying, because the prayer then not gonna wait. You can't pray for somebody when you have no soul, my friend. You have to pray for people who have soul. And that man no have no soul. Him soul gone to the devil. So you can't pray for him. I'm glad you open your eyes and say, what them do is wrong, but you're still supporting them. So you're supporting wrongs, my friend. You're supporting wrongs. If you can see clearly and see that this government are doing us wrongs, then you need to take away yourself from them. Not because you're a dieted Labourite, but because you are a Jamaican and Jamaica come first. And you have to set a foundation for your next generation. Remember that what this government is doing is evil. It is evil. And your prayers now going to make him change, because him not have no soul. Anyway, I'm done with him. The people them continue to beat Flavor Williams after she said $2,000 more are going to go in a people pocket, something that they have never had before, and they can put it down every month, and at the end of 3 years they can buy a brand new Pro Box. No, right, Mango, I go ripe her up.
Dear Jamaicans, good morning. I am making this video because I want all Labourites to come here. Come here, Labourites, gather here and sit down in the front of the class, because we need an education on basic mathematics and basic comprehension. Now imagine me scrolling through social media this morning and seeing Labourites trying to defend Favor's fallacy. I try not to be disrespectful to Auntie Favor, because, Auntie Favor is with elder, so we have to take care of our elder and treat them with respect and manners. So we're going to talk about Favor's slipping judgment as a fallacy. So Faval recently came out, Auntie Faval recently came out and stated that $72,000, no, she never said 72,000. She said $2,000 a month where she give back to people who earning, the threshold going up, the income tax threshold going up, so people will take home $2,000 extra a month. It sounds like a whole heap of money when she was talking it in Parliament, but when people stop and do the maths, them realize it's $2,000 a month extra. She's sending them home with. Anyway, most of we know that probably that is lunch money, extra lunch money, right? Especially for the pitney them, because my pitney, $3,000 a day, it costs me for send my pitney them to school, and my children don't commute. I take them to school and pick them up from school, right? So that are just lunch money alone, because the school them expensive. Anyway, I don't want to digress, so I could talk about the $2,000. Auntie Faval said the $2,000 a day, if you save it, you can buy a Pro Box in 3 years to rot it. The labor rights them said no, it's not. So she said you can pay down on a Pro Box in 3 years. So make we do the maths now, because even though Auntie Faval said it was $74,000 you'd end up with, it's not 74, it's 72. So I'm going to just overlook that lapse in her mathematical calculations, even though she's a Minister of Finance. If you're a Minister of Finance, you know, not mine. Because if you're a Minister of Finance, I have sense. If you can at least do basic maths. Anyway, make we look at the cost of a Pro Box. A 10-year-old Pro Box. And if anyone want to buy a vehicle, I don't know, and people who earn that kind of money there for benefit from the extra $2,000. Saving $2,000 a day now go make a big difference to them in any event. But let us say that by some spoof it did. A 10-year-old Pro Box costs $1.25 million. $1.2 million at least. That is the cost of a 10-year-old Pro Box. So, if you're going to get financing, because I assume if you're saying pay down on, that means you intend to get financing on the vehicle. If you go to the bank for a 10-year-old vehicle, them going to tell you say you have to go pay down at least 15%. But I could say you go a credit union and them say them will take 10%. I doubt it, but I could work with the 10%. 10% of $1.25 million or $1.2 million is $120,000 or $125,000. Where you going with your $72,000? Alright, so you realize that your money cannot quite reach up to a 10-year-old vehicle. So you decide, say you have to go settle for your old broke. So I could find the price at the old broke. Introducing the 20-year-old Pro Box. And the cost of that is $550,000. So a 2005 Pro Box, which is 20 years old, costs $550,000. Right? No. There is no bank or no lending institution, I guarantee you, who will give you a loan for a 20-year-old vehicle. But let us say by some fluke, you decide, say, you're going to not take out a car loan, because I see people will go and take out a loan, a general loan, and just buy a car outside. You find a way if you go around the thing, right? And you get a loan. Them loan there, you don't have to find. You can't go to them with 10% deposit. And 10% deposit at this is $55,000. Them want 15 and 20% down payment. Not deposit, down payment. 20%, 15% is $80,000. Where you go with this? Alright, maybe you can match it up a little toops. Carry it up a little toops. Starve yourself for a week and add on to the $72,000 if you can find a loan for it. But if you're going to, if your lending institution requires a 20% deposit, dog, they mess up because that is $110,000. So you have to go save the $2,000 them again for another 2 years before you can buy the 20-year-old Pro Box. And by that time, chances are it gone up in any event. So this was a lesson for you labor rights. Yeah, man. I hope you say on the minister, she totally clueless. She is totally out of touch with reality. She don't know the cost of basic commodities. Right? She don't know it's like it's almost like a mind fuck. She blows my mind. Favor just blows my mind to how silly she is. But that's a you problem. You all put her there as the Minister of Finance. I didn't have any expectations because she had an MP from where me come from. I mean, no such nonsense. I thank you. Have yourself a great day. So come talk to me again.
Some people say we're not a recession. There are other things that you have to put
let me explain that.
Quickly.
Well, there's a difference between a slowdown and a recession.
Quickly.
No,
we're in a recession. The National Bureau of Economic Research, which was created by Wesley Clare Mitchell in 1920, the greatest classical economist, tells us that a recession had 2 consecutive quarters decline in real GDP, and also we talk about sectoral diffusion. How many sectors? During the last 2 quarters, the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter, 11 of Jamaica's 12 economic sectors declined. The industrial sector declined by 12%. Agriculture is down by 25%. We check the numbers. So we know that we're in a recession. And the fact that you are denying a recession, that is why you have not been able to develop the policies that are necessary to take us out of
But the folks who are denying the recession are intelligent people. It's not that me just get up and say.
No.
But we have to go.
No, but they are injecting politics in the debate. We're talking about economics.
Now, when me tell you say the Jamaican government a lie to you, but Jamaica is not in a recession, you don't believe me. Now, every time when I come on here and say that Jamaica they go backward, Jamaica they fall, people go back to hungry days because the Jamaican Labour Party government cannot manage the economy. Just like back in 2010, 2012, when Bruce Golding were the Prime Minister, when they crashed this country, crush it up, and PNP did have to fix back the country. Me tell you now, this government is very, very evil and all for themselves, and people who don't need to wake up. Now, I want to check out this video and listen to it very, very keenly.
The budget, 949.5 billion of tax revenues. Explain that.
Okay. Well, the minister said the budget is 1.26 trillion. It's going to be financed 949 billion in tax revenues, 4.9 billion in capital revenues, 139.8 billion in non-tax revenues, 5.6 billion in grants.
Yep.
That's on the income side.
5.9 in grants, but yeah.
Yep.
On the expenditure side, 917 billion in non-debt expenditure, 855 billion in recurrent expenditure, 354.9 billion in programs, 495.8 billion in salaries, public sector compensation. Now, the 949 billion in tax revenues implies additional revenues of 50 billion thereabouts. That's about 5%. Inflation at 5% will take care of that. So that's not a problem. Yeah, so the revenue side of the budget, not a problem. What we're looking at now is how you use the revenues. So the minister spoke about the capital budget. One of the things that we're expected to hear from the minister is what, Madam Speaker, we're going to also focus on dealing with the procurement problem. Because what we have been seeing consistently, even under the former finance minister, Nigel Clark, they always underspend the capital budget and tell us that the problem is related to the procurement process. Now, if you don't spend your capital budget, you're not going to be able to accelerate economic growth.
Fair enough.
The capital budget is a budget that we use for our roads, our schools, and all of those things.
Overall, what did you think of the budget? If you had to give the minister out of 10 as the highest.
4.
4?
Yeah, man. Because we need to, Jamaica is right now in a recession. The rest of the global economy is slowing down because of the policies.
Why 4? Why 4?
Because it never covered the areas that it should cover. We need a growth strategy now.
So because you're listening for that growth strategy, which is an important area of focus, that for you has essentially given her a failing presentation grade?
Yeah, man, because she never addressed the issues that are important.
No new taxes for 2025, 2026? No new taxes? What do you think about
Well, no new taxes. Yeah, one of the things that the people of Jamaica have become used to, because of the low level of economic intelligence, is that they only see taxes when the minister goes to Parliament and says, we are going to have a new tax category. But the fact of the matter is that they are paying more taxes. The government is going to collect over 50 billion more in taxes.
How?
So I told you, inflation. Yeah, so when the cost of the goods and services go up, 15% GCT on $115 is more than 15% on $100.
Right.
So the indirect taxes, that is how you collect taxes. So you don't have to name a new tax category.
But doesn't that inflation still affect how the government expenditure overall too? Because Jamaican inflation doesn't exist in a vacuum.
No, that's the point I'm making.
Right.
That's the point I'm making. So what we want, that's why we talk about growth. We're talking about real GDP. A lot of people, even the analysts, don't know the difference between real GDP and nominal GDP. Nominal GDP is GDP before the subtraction of what we call the GDP deflator. That's producer and consumer inflation. Right? So right now, real GDP is projected at $3.48 trillion. Nominal GDP. Real GDP is only $799 billion. So we need to grow real GDP if we are going to improve the quality of life of our people.
And that is what you were hoping the minister would have.
So we need a growth strategy. Yeah, the way the condition that the world is in now. We also need to know how is it that we're going to export more, because that's a big problem.
You said you gave her 4. Give me the areas that you thought she hit the nail right on the head, if there were any areas like that in your opinion.
Well, in terms of some of the revenue measures, in terms of the reduction of the tax on dividend to external parties.
You were impressed with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, those things, yeah. But we want to see big ticket items. The growth forecast in the budget is 1% per annum for the next 4 years. So you're moving from recession to stagnation. That's not going to help the Jamaican people.
So you were not impressed?
No, we need a growth strategy at this time. We have been doing fiscal consolidation, that's another point. We have been doing fiscal consolidation, that's another point. We have been doing fiscal consolidation for 13 years, not for 10 years since the JLP was in power. This thing started under Peter Phillips and Portia Simsumila. We need to remind the country about that. The whole process of fiscal prudence and fiscal consolidation. When we re-engage, I am a foundation member of the Economic Program Oversight Committee that was formed under Peter Phillips in May of 2013. This is when that process started. So the people of Jamaica has been undergoing this fiscal consolidation process for years. So we need to grow now. That's what we're talking about. And the international economy on which we depend is slowing down. The remittance flows that we depend on to pay for the exports, they're slowing down. 2.85 billion for the first 10 months of last year. Under Trump, they're going to slow even more.
So now hear what I go on my viewers and my subscribers. And these people are afraid to even come out and say to you guys that, listen, we are heading down a bad road, hard times, bitter medicine, they are ahead. As what the Jamaican Labour Party government, they say, and Holiness. If they tell you that we're not going to taste bitter medicine because bitter medicine are ahead of us. But enough of you never believe. And enough of you claim to say this man is the best prime minister and Nigel Clark was the best finance minister. On the seat for yourself now, Jamaica is heading down a hill where they are going to broke their neck. So no, wake up and see. Anyway, people, remember to leave a like on this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up and leave your honest opinion down below in the comment section. And subscribe as well. Alright?
What I will comment on is that right now, as it stands in the Jamaican economy, the economy is struggling. It's probably the worst I've seen in the 30-odd years I've been in business. The buying power is the weakest, and government needs to find ways to, catalyze the economy to be able to grow. We tried our best a few years ago, and Jamaica started to see growth. But right now, they've done so many things to stagnate the industry. Interest rates need to come down quickly. The Bank of Jamaica needs to come out of their tunnel vision and start thinking out of the box to manage the economy, because right now it's in a very stagnant stage and actually in a dying stage. And it is actually quite frightening what is happening out there. When you speak to business people, people are saying they're seeing anyway in as 50% down in terms of sales, the retail trade, and every expense is going up. Their rental rates that they're paying to rent these shops and stores is going up. Their light bill consistently is up. You know, it's a tough world out there, yes, but we can do things to make it a little easier for our people in this country. So the minister and the government has a lot to do, and the Bank of Jamaica and our commercial banks to try and stimulate this economy, because if they don't start doing something now, the economy is going to start fumbling and they're going to be in big trouble.
I want you to expand on that a little bit more from me, Mr. Azan, because it's good to hear your views on that, because the data is suggesting, and we hear the government talk a lot about economic growth and inclusiveness. It talks about business confidence is at an all-time high. We know of unemployment rate, the best that it has been. Is it that the manufacturers are not seeing all of that? What exactly is happening? Why is there a dissonance between the two?
There are one or two businesses that may be seeing some growth, but I tell you, the general economy is struggling out there. The real estate side of things, the building, the construction side of things is slowing. Interest rates has played a major part in doing that. And the business side, the manufacturing side is struggling. And we need to find ways to stimulate back this economy, because what we've done over the years and tried to build it back, coming from where we're coming from, I think what we've done in terms of managing this inflationary issue, I think we've gone about it possibly in a little different way that we could do something, but it is creating a havoc in the economy right now. Buying power is the weakest that I have seen in all my years of doing business. I'm not just speaking from my own business, but generally because I sit on other boards, it is very weak, and it is actually a little frightening for me when I am looking out there and seeing what's happening in the economy out there. So we need to find ways of trying to find ways. The Bank of Jamaica needs to come out. Commercial banks need to start doing things to stimulate stuff, because you're going to find ourselves in a real pickle if we don't do something quickly.
We know the issue of the interest rates and the adjustment by the bank, the central bank, but not the commercial banks, has been an issue for a lot of different players in the market, Mr. Thwaites. Outside of that, you may probably make a comment on that as well from the association standpoint. And also, could you tell me what are some of the incentives that you see as necessary, the association see as necessary to assist the sector right now as it pertains to economic activity?
Yeah, sure. And Omar is echoing a sentiment that we've been in a 2-year environment of high interest rate and lending is tight. So these are the policies that slow down an economy. We've seen interest rates drop a couple of times, but we're not seeing the transmission of those rates at BOJ drops to the commercial banks, and that's a problem. We're half a year in off of our initial drop in interest rates and haven't seen that transmission to the markets. That is a key issue in how you incent the growth in the economy and we get it moving again. We know, even with everything Omar said, we know that our economy, the drop in our debt, we have the currency has been in a stable place. All those things are true, but Omar is echoing what we hear a lot through our small and larger companies in the private sector, that there is a concern that the stagnation has to be switched off. We have to see the policies that get the economy moving again. To us, interest rates are key, and we need to get this economy going again out of the cycle of stagnation.